Hello learners, welcome to e-education NIOS. Today we are doing 12th standard senior secondary English chapter number 1. The first chapter is My First Steps. All babies look alike. Can they be exchanged when the nurse gives them a bath? The objective of this lesson. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to read and understand an autobiography. Use compound words, use the simple past tense, and ask and answer simple questions in speech. We'll start with section 1 now. I may never have become a cricketer, and this book would certainly not have been written if an eagle eyed relation, Mr. Narayan Masurekar, had not come into my life the day I was born, July 10, 1949. It seems that Nan Kaka, as I call him, who had come to see me in hospital on my first day in this world, noticed a little hole near the top of my left earlobe. The next day, he came again and picked up the baby lying on the crib next to my mother. To his utter horror, he discovered that the baby did not have the hole on the left earlobe. A frantic search of all the cribs in the hospital followed, and I was eventually located sleeping blissfully beside a fisherwoman, totally oblivious of the commotion I had caused. The mix up, it appears, followed after the babies had been given their bath. Providence had helped me to retain my true identity and in the process charter the course of my life. I have often wondered what would have happened if nature had not marked me out and given me my guard by giving me that small hole on my left earlobe, and if Nan Kaka had not and if Nan Kaka had not noticed this abnormality, perhaps I would have grown up to be obscure fisherman, toiling somewhere along the west coast. And what about the baby who, for a spell, took my place? I do not know if he is interested in cricket or whether he will ever read this book. I can only hope that if he does, he will start taking a little more interest in Sunil Gavaskar. So now the first question we ask over here, when was Sunil Gavaskar born? So that answer is being written over here. That is July 10, 1949. That was when Sunil Gavaskar was born. What did Sunil's uncle, Mr. Narayan Mauserkar, noticed when he came to see the baby in the hospital? He noticed a little hole near the top of my left earlobe. What was the horrible thing that happened the next day? The mix up, it appears, followed after the babies had been given their bath. Where was the missing child found? The missing child was found located sleeping blissfully beside a fisherwoman, totally oblivious of the commotion he had caused. If Nan Kaka had not noticed the hole on his ear, where would he be living? Perhaps he would have grown up to be an obscure fisherman toiling around somewhere along the west coast. Find words from the passage which mean the same as looking at things with great attention and noticing small detail. So that would be an eagle-eyed Mr. Narayan Mausurekar. Unaware of what is happening, oblivious. Unknown nor will be known. For that, we will see over here unknown nor will be known. So I do not know if he is interested in cricket or whether he will ever read the book. I can only hope if he does, he will start taking a little more interest in Sunil Gavaskar. So the answer to that will be a spell. The answer to that will be a spell. Oh, sorry. Unknown or nor will be known. The answer to that will be obscure. And that is over here. And the last one, a short period. For that he means a spell. Now we'll move on to the section 2 of this. How did Sunil begin playing cricket? Who helped to develop his talent as a cricketer? Let's read on. My most vivid recollection of my childhood cricket playing days is the time I almost broke my mother's nose. She used to bowl to me in the small gallery of our house where we played our daily match with a tennis ball. Since the area was small, she would kneel to bowl, or rather, lob the ball to me. I hit one straight back and caught her bang on the nose, which started bleeding. Although it was a tennis ball, the distance between the two of us was very short, which accounts for the force with which the ball hit her. I was frightened, but she shrugged it off, washed her face, and as the bleeding stopped, we continued the game. But for the rest of the days, it was only forward defense for me. I restrained myself and played no attacking shot. Cricket, to use a cliche, is in my blood. My father was a good club cricketer in his days and a keen student of game. Even now, we have interesting discussions on various aspects of the game, and I have found his advice invaluable in the development of my career. And as I've already said, I had the privilege of having a cricketing mother who helped me to take the first steps in the game. I have come to love my uncle Madhav Mantri, who played for India in 4 official tests, though not very successful, was a force to reckon with in first class games. Whenever I went to my uncle's house, my favorite pastime used to be to take out his pullover and caress them with a sense of longing. I was so attracted by the India test pullovers that once I even dared to ask him if I could take one, since he had so many. My uncle told me that one has to sweat and earn the India colors, and I too should work hard to earn the distinction. This is a lesson I have never forgotten. Looking back, I am glad that my uncle did not succumb to my childish fancy and instead taught me that there was no shortcut to the top. I was also fascinated by the many souvenirs he had and the large number of trophies he had won. What I liked most was the stump bearing the autograph of the 1952 India and England teams, and I loved to linger over the autograph of every player. Right from the beginning, I wanted to become a batsman and I hated losing my wicket. This became such an obsession with me that if the rest of the boys ever got me out, I would fight and eventually walk home with the bat and the ball. This would bring the game to an abrupt end since nobody else had a ball or bat. The boys cursed and called me names, but the tension did not last long and we generally got on very well. Among these early comrades with whom I played were the Ambeya brothers, the Madrekar brothers, and several others who made up our team. Whatever I batted, they would decide beforehand that they would appeal at a particular ball. Whether I was out or not, I had to go by the majority verdict. We often played matches against teams made up of boys living in the neighboring buildings, and there was a tremendous interest in the trophies, as we called them. The trophies were small white metal cups for which we all contributed and bought for as little as rupees 1 and 50 paisa. 1 rupee and 50 paisa. So the first question over here that is asked in text question 2 is, how did Gavaskar break his mother's nose? So the answer to that is at the start over here. So over here we can see I hit one straight back and caught her bang on the nose, which started bleeding, although it was a tennis ball. So it will be he hit her with his ball on the nose while playing his daily match with her in their house. So now we come on to the second question. What qualities of his mother's character are brought out through this part of the extract? Pick the two words, phrases that best describe her from the ones given below. So they will be patient. She was very patient with him and she was encouraging him. Now we come on to the third question. When Gavaskar says cricketer is in my blood, he means that he struggles and gives his blood to play cricket. His family has taught him the game. He has inherited interest in the game from his family members, or it is a dangerous game. So the answer to this will be he has inherited interest in the game from his family members. Now we move on to the next question. What did Gavaskar like to do whenever he went to his uncle's house, and why? He liked to take out his pullovers and touch them lovingly, showing that he admired his uncle for being on the Indian Test team. Looking at his uncle's souvenirs, including the stump with autographs of Indian cricketers on it. What lesson did his uncle teach him? To work hard to become great in life. and not to take any shortcuts. There is no shortcut to the top, means can have a high position in life through shortcuts. You must work hard to succeed in life. You can reach the top of the mountain by taking short steps. To succeed in life, you must take big jumps. So the answer will be you must work hard to succeed in life. Which souvenir did Gavaskar like the most and why? He liked the stump. It had autograph of Indian cricketers on it. Gavaskar said, I hated losing my wicket. What would happen whenever he got out? So he would stop the game and would walk off with his bat and ball. How would the other boys react to this? They would curse him and call him names. What does this behavior show about Gavaskar? His great love of the game. It shows that he has great love for the game because he never wanted to lose. Now we have to find words from the passage which mean the same as clear. So that will be in para 3. So in para 3, let's see, the para 3 would be my most vivid. The answer is vivid. The answer to clear is vivid. The second one, controlled or checked. That would be restrained. Then we come on to the next one, of great value. Of great value means invaluable. So where is invaluable here? Let's see, invaluable. Over here, invaluable will be, okay, we are not finding invaluable here. So let's see which para it is in. Para 4. So we need to go to the fourth para. That will be fourth para. I have found his advice invaluable. So that's the answer for of great value. An object kept as a reminder of an event. That also is in the fourth para. So that would be, let's see, that would be souvenir, meaning it's an object which reminds you of such a time, or as mentioned here, yes, an object kept as a reminder of an event. A strong feeling, desire, or idea. That would be his obsession. He was obsessed with winning. So that over here is in the end. So where can you see obsession? Yes, this became such an obsession. So we with this we finish this one, and now we come on to the overall questions. How did his uncle's keen observation help Gavaskar in retaining his identity? His Nan Kaka noticed that he had a hole on the left earlobe, on the top of his left earlobe. So when he came the next day to visit Gavaskar, that time he noticed that the baby lying in the crib did not have the same hole. So he panicked the staff over there to search the baby to restore it to Gavaskar's family. And the baby was found lying next to the fisherwoman where he was blissfully sleeping without knowing the commotion he had created. How did Gavaskar's family members help him to become a good cricketer? What did his mother, father, and uncle do? Mother encouraged him, supported him, and played with him, had patience and forbearance, even when hurt. Father gave him invaluable advice from time to time, enabling him to become a good cricketer or held discussions with him on game. His uncle inspired him to sweat and earn the Indian colours, advised him to not get things by adopting quick methods. How did Gavaskar behave during matches played in his childhood days? How did his friends handle him on these occasions? So he stopped the game and walked off with the bat and ball, which were his. Had fights with them due to this. Childish behavior not liked by friends. Cleverly planned to get him out at a particular ball, made him accept the decision of the majority. In his childhood days, Gavaskar was not a sporting player. He would walk away with the bat and ball whenever he was declared out, which were brought the game to an abrupt end. How would you convince a friend of yours who behaves in a similar fashion? So this question asks what you would do if you were in Gavaskar's place, or if the same situation has happened with you. The second question is, what are the qualities you require in order to be a good team player? Pick up 5 qualities from the box. So this also is left to you. But I would mark out that egoistical behavior doesn't help in any game. Then over ambition doesn't help. Over competitiveness doesn't always help, but may be part of the game a few times. An individualistic approach. If you're playing a one man game, that is a game where only one person is needed, then the individualistic approach might be okay. But over here, you're playing a team game. So, you need to know how to cooperate with your team members. You need to know how to collaborate with them. You need to consider each and every person in the game. Then you need to take responsibility. In the story we read, Gavaskar did not take the responsibility when he got out. Instead, he just would walk away with the bat and ball, which was his. Acceptance. Though he understood that the game was brought an abrupt end, so because of this, he learned that he started accepting the majority's decision. Now we come on to vocabulary enrichment. Forming new words, compound words. New words are formed in many ways. Sometimes You make a new word by adding a prefix or a suffix. Prefix means you add something before, suffix means you add something after. For example, to say that someone sang very well, you add ly to beautiful and form a new word, beautifully. Or to say that Sunil Gavaskar was not aware of what was happening around him, you would add un to aware and form a new word, unaware. So in this case, the un which you see at the start, that is a prefix. The ly you see at the end over here in beautifully is the suffix. Another way of forming new words is by putting two words together. This is done because a single noun or adjective is often not enough to refer clearly to a person or thing or quality. When this is the case, compound word is used, which consists of two words put together. Look at the following example of a compound word. This is a huge swimming pool in the club. That is a compound word. Compound noun. The bus stop is overcrowded at peak hours. Sunil Gavaskar's mother was a good tempered lady. So, what we read above was a noun. What we are reading here, good tempered lady, or I traveled to Bombay in a second class compartment. They are adjectives. Compound words are written in three ways. Some compound words are written with space between two words. For example, car park, gas stove. Some compound words have a hyphen. For example, eagle eyed, 24. Some compound words are joined together. For example, fisherwoman, staircase, staircase. Note: compound noun are usually written as two separate words. Compound adjective are usually joined together with a hyphen. So a noun is where the word has a spacing, like a huge swimming pool or a peak hour. There is space, so that is a noun. But over here, in the second, meaning the third and fourth, good tempered or second class, there is a hyphen. That makes this an adjective. Now we'll go into the in-text question for this. Form new words by choosing one word from group A and group B. You may write the new word formed in one of the ways discussed above. For example, you would like to write mother-in-law as mother-in-law and not as mother-in-law. So this is an adjective. You cannot write it as a noun. So you need to write it as an adjective by adding a hyphen. So there's a list over here of words over here on group A. So you can go as there are many options here. So I would recommend that this be done by yourself. And you can fill in the words over here with the words you have formed above. Now let's come to grammar. Tenses. The simple past. Read the following sentence. Sunil Gavaskar wanted to become a great batsman. So wanted, meaning he wanted to become. So that becomes a past. He hated losing his wicket, which also is past. Playing cricket was an obsession with him, past. The doctor examined my teeth. Basically, past is something which has already happened. Present is what we are doing now. And future is what is about to happen. Notice that all the events took place in the past. That is, all the above actions were completed in the past or happened in the past. Also note that no helping verb was, were, had is used in the above sentence. Such use of verb is called the simple past. The simple past tense is formed adding ed or d to the verb in its base form. For example, work becomes worked. Over here, ed has been added as a suffix. Create, created. D has been added as a suffix. And want becomes wanted. Same over here, ed. Irregular verbs like go, come, see, find, etc. and be have formed their past tense in other ways. For these verbs which we just read, that is go, come, see, we cannot write God or GOED or COMED or COMD. So there are different ways to form with these words. Complete the following narration by using the verbs given in the brackets in simple past tense. When Sunil Gavaskar was born, a relative dashed to see him in the hospital. So come becomes came. His name is Mr. Narayan. So is becomes was because this has already happened. And he had sharp eyes. He dash that the newborn baby. So notice. Notice becomes noticed. So over here we are adding the suffix d. That the newborn baby has becomes had. Over here, instead of changing, meaning instead of adding d or ed, we are changing the word. So has becomes had. A hole on his ear. The next day, when he go. So what does go become in this case is went. The next day when he went again. Again and picked up the baby, he find. So find now becomes found. Found. Found that the hole was missing. Everyone started. 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 Over here, the suffix ed is added. Started searching for the missing baby. At last, Sunil was found sleeping beside a fisherwoman. . The past tense is also used when you want to say that a situation existed in the past over a period or that an activity took place regularly in the past. Read the following sentence. We played our daily match with a tennis ball. I loved to linger over the autograph of every player at my uncle's house. Whenever I batted, they would decide beforehand that they would appeal at a particular ball, and I had to go by the majority verdict. Means that Sunil Gavaskar had his and his mother used to play cricket every day. So this was a regular activity which took place regularly. Means that he liked to look at autograph of the players whenever he went to his uncle's house. So this also used to become regular because whenever the situation whenever he went and whenever he went, so that we don't know how many times he went. So it can be on a daily activity regularly. So over here the situation exists in the past or that an activity took place regularly can be used over here. And the third sentence means that the boys used to get Sunil Gavaskar out by appealing to the umpire. So in this situation and regularly both are taken repeated. Notice that in the sentence would is used to denote the past tense would and used to are also used when you want to say that something happened regularly in the past. Look at more examples of the use of would and used to denote past tense. When I was a small child, I used to play many games at school. My teacher would always tell me that I would become a great football player. Twice a week, I used to stay at school for coaching in football. Complete the following sentence with verbs in past tense. You may use the past tense of the appropriate verb or would or used to. When I was a small child, I lived in Bombay. I dashed in Bombay High School. Studied. I studied in Bombay High School. I dashed to go to school where I dash many dash things. I used to. I loved or enjoyed to go to school learned many where I learned many wait there is some mistake over here but I'll correct that. When I was a small child, I lived in Bombay. I studied in Bombay High School. So over here comes studied. In Bombay High School. I loved to go to school. Where I learned many new things. I dash go to Juhu beach with my parents on Sunday. Over here comes used to. With my parents on Sunday. Whenever I dash go to the beach, I dash play with my brother. Whenever I would, I used to play with my brother. We dash keep playing till it was time to return home. We would keep playing till it was time to return home. On our way home, we dash stop at quality ice cream parlor for ice cream. It dash be an enjoyable day for all of us. So home we used to stop at quality ice cream parlor for ice cream. It would it would be an enjoyable day for all of us. So the negative now. The negative of both regular and irregular verbs that are used in past tense is formed with did not plus verb without changing the form of the verb. He did not see the movie. Ravi did not tell a lie. Shyam did not go for the picnic. So in these cases, the did not is the negative. Did not. And over here the verb is see the movie, tell a lie, go for the picnic. Or to be exact, the verb is over here is go, tell, see. Note that in the above sentence, when the negative is denoted, see, go and tell do not take D or ED or any other change. So now we come on to the in-text question 1.7. Rewrite the following sentence in the negative. The first is done for you as an example. I played cricket with my friends. I did not play cricket with my friends. My aunt went to Bombay in the holidays. My aunt did not go to Bombay. So over here I'll say we are removing my aunt did not go to Bombay in the holidays. So over here we are changing the went to part. We are removing that. He obeyed the rules of the camp. He did not obey. So ed over here is removed. He did not obey the rules of the camp. He came to school on foot. He did not come. So over here the came becomes come. COME. He did not come to school on foot. He returned home after the show. He did not return home after the show. So you need to add over here in between. He did not return. So that comes, he did not comes over here. And the ed from here has to be removed. He did not return home after the show. Now the interrogative. The interrogative is formed by changing the position of did and placing it before the subject. Note that the main verb does not change its form. He is the subject. So, did he see the movie? In this place, did, you're asking a question. Did Ravi tell a lie? Did Shyam go for the picnic? Now, rewrite the following sentence in interrogative. The first one is done for you as an example. Ravi slept during the day. Did Ravi sleep during the day? Shekhar went for a swim in the pool. Did Shekhar go for swimming in the pool? He accepted the offer. Did he accept the offer? India became a republic on 26 January 1950. Did India become a republic on 26 January 1950? They wanted to help the poor children. Did they want to help the poor children? And now we come to note making. Learners, please make sure to read this properly because note making is a very important part of any of your subjects, which won't only help you in NIOS but will help you in any of your future endeavors because note making is very important. Note making is an important skill which can help us in many ways. We do not and cannot remember everything. Do you remember word for word every lesson that you read? It is impossible to do so. Notes help you to store important information. Like I have been teaching this chapter now. So you cannot remember each and everything I said. By watching this YouTube video, you can maybe repeat this a 10 number of times, but you wouldn't remember word for word. So for this reason, we make notes. You make notes on the important points I have done. What is note making? Note making is a brief presentation of the main idea and supporting idea of a text in a point form. You must be careful that the note you make are easy to understand. The notes you cannot understand yourself after a few months are not good notes. Basically, whenever you see your notes, you need to understand what was told. Basically, if you cannot understand it after a few months, then the note you have done is not good enough. How to make a note? Read the whole passage once to get the central idea. Read the passage again once or twice to underline the main idea or ideas. Select the points related to the main idea. So points to remember are: correct understanding of the text is essential. Notes must be brief. Right now I can write the whole book as a note, but that won't be helpful. So I need to make it small and concise where I can understand what is written. Notes are made in point form. They should not be complete sentences. Basically, right now we were saying about the interrogative. So in interrogative, I won't write the whole thing. I might write interrogative is formed by changing the position of did and placing it before the subject. I would only give this as a point for the interrogative. Similar way for the negative of both regular and irregular verbs that are used in past tense is formed with did not plus verb. So for that, I need to write this whole thing as a point. Formed with did not plus verb without changing the form of the verb. Similar way, for the first one we did here, tense. In this, I will see. Notice that all the events took place in the past. So over here, I will write Above actions were completed in the past or happened in the past. Also note that no helping verb was used in the above sentence. Such use of verb is called simple past. So right now simple past tense is formed by adding ed or d to the verb in its bare form. That is point number 1 for the simple past. Then over here, note that no helping verb. So this I don't need to write. Also note that the no helping verb because I am not mentioning this area at all in my notes. So because of that, I do not need to remember this part, which is was, were, had. But I do need to remember ed or d. I also need to remember the irregular verbs like go, come, see, find, and all form their past tense in other ways. So please do remember, learners, that you cannot write everything. You need to write anything you write briefly. Notes are made in points. The main idea and the related ideas are numbered as main points and subpoints. Like, let's see an example over here. This might be the main idea. Under that idea, this is the sub idea or the sub point. So point 1, point 2. Similarly, under point 2, you can write a point 3 also. Recognizable abbreviations and symbols are used whenever necessary. For example, GOVT full stop for government and slash for therefore. Don't use abbreviations that may create confusion. The two ways are either the common abbreviations that everyone knows, you can write that down, or make an abbreviation sheet like AA. For me, AA is all after. So I would make an abbreviation sheet where I write down the abbreviation all after for AA. But the same way, not everyone knows AA is for all after. So because of that, if you create a sheet, it's useful for yourself to remember the abbreviations later where they won't create a confusion. Points are arranged in a logical order, meaning you cannot write points up down in a mixed way. Write it in the way you read it in a logical order. Ornamental words and phrases are dropped, meaning you should not add anything that extra in the sense you don't need to add an example or you don't need to say butter it up. Examples and quotations are dropped. We don't write quotations or examples over here. And you need to give a suitable title. Key to abbreviation is given. So as I told, you can make a sheet of abbreviations like AA, AB, AC, etc. etc. You can go on making abbreviations what you've written. Do remember to give it a title of what you're writing. So this is an example of how a passage discussed and then made into points for notes. And then at the last, e.g. for example, CEN for century. So this is how it is done in a concise form. So with this, we end today's class. Thank you for watching this video. Do subscribe to our channel. Do join our groups on Telegram and WhatsApp. You can message us anytime over here to ask any questions related to NIOS. Thank you and have a good time ahead. Good time learning with us. With this, I complete the 12th standard. With this, I complete the 12th standard English chapter 1.